What's amazing is that I've never seen this movie before. This movie has been out for a while, and for some reason I just now heard about it. You know, I probably heard about this movie a long time ago, but I somehow missed it. This movie is a mix between the Alien franchise, Hellraiser, 2001: A Space Odyssey, and any other genre that has to do with space. This movie speaks in volumes when it comes to references to hell. This movie basically is a reference to Dante's Inferno, but set in space. That's what I took away from this film. Now, I went online and I read a lot of disappointing reviews, how people were disappointed in this movie, how people didn't like this movie, especially on websites like Rotten Tomatoes. But also heard from my friends and other YouTubers that really liked this movie, so I thought I'd give it a shot. And here's what I saw. It is a creepy horror movie. It has a lot of H.P. Lovecraft influences in this movie. There is a lot of references to, like I said, of Dante's Inferno. Basically, Sam Neill builds a spacecraft that can build a black hole within its core, and he sends it off into space, but something happens to the crew. The crew go in to find it, only to realize what had happened, and that's where our story takes place. This movie, in a way, is no different from the movie Prometheus and the other Alien franchises. In a way, this movie is the Alien franchise. It's like one of the installments, just without the aliens. It's nothing but a psychological horror. But it's not just psychological, because what the characters are actually experiencing is real. So basically, Dr. Grant's character opens up a portal to hell. He mentions that it's a portal to another dimension, but we can get some clear facts that it's actually a portal to hell. And some of the images in this movie, like, I was surprised, even for the time period this movie came out. Yes, in those days, movies had horrific special effects when it comes to bodies or mangled corpses. Like, it was cool to watch. I'm not saying anything bad about it, it was cool to watch. And it's cool to see those type of special effects in place in this movie, especially when the eyes are coming out. I don't know about you guys, but when it comes to eyeball mutilation, that always grosses me out every single time in almost every single movie. In the movie Black Christmas, I was grossed out when the guy gets his ice picked in the eye. And I'll get to that movie another time because I really don't feel like going over that movie right now. So, I have a lot of conflicting information. Some people love this movie. Most of the critics hated this movie. What do I think? I actually like this movie. I would actually watch it again at least once a year. I have that thing where I watch my favorite movies at least once a year just to enjoy the experience, because I like to wait long enough to where I kind of forget about the events of the film before watching it again. This movie is a thrill ride. It's fun. In a way, it's a low-budget B movie that's also a blockbuster movie, if that makes any sense. There's some good production value in this movie, but if you look at the movie as a whole, you can tell that there's some production value missing, and there's some questionable scenes and questionable jump scenes in this movie. There's really no jump scares in this movie. It's mostly a psychological thriller where the characters are facing their inner demons throughout the whole movie. Especially Lawrence Fishburne's character, who is guilty of a thing he did a long time ago, but yet at the same time he seems to be the most sane of the characters. The character with the least amount of guilt versus the other characters. One character has a guilt of leaving her son. That's what I'm getting at. Another character has like a history of violence. Dr. Grant's character seems to had a tragedy involving his wife and his work. So, I did like this movie. I would recommend, if you are a horror fan, go watch this movie. Sometimes the critics, you can just ignore them. Ignore the online critics. Listen to what your friends are saying. If your friends like the movie, you should probably watch the movie at least once, especially if you're a horror fan. Guys, this is Matthew Scooby. I'm going through and trying to review every single horror movie that I can find. I'll see you in the next episode. This is The Great Geek Detective. Peace out.